SIP2, which represents over 10,000 CE workers, was extremely concerned by the proposals contained in the McCarthy report. There are currently over 20,000 Z participants carrying out vital services in the community, including childcare, elder care, drug rehabilitation programmes and educational programmes. In June 2010, SIP2 called together its Z activists in Dublin in order to develop a campaign in opposition to the cuts. Following that meeting, the CE workers and activists decided to come together to form a committee and to call the campaign the You're Right, Your Fight campaign. The You're Right, Your Fight campaign also included support from other organisations, including Open, the INOU, Mental Health Ireland and Inclusion Ireland.
Well, the entitlement to social welfare for people who are participating on CE schemes, particularly for those who are single parents or living with a disability, withdrawing that entitlement to social welfare would be an extremely retrograde step. It enables people who have considerable barriers to accessing employment to participate in a scheme that hopefully will lead to employment, and as far as the INOU is concerned, that's an extremely positive step. That's why we joined this campaign, and that's very much why we supported it from the start to the end.
People in the run-up to Budget 2011 were extremely worried. Lone parents were very worried, first of all because everybody knew, because it was no secret, that social welfare was going to be cut, which was disgraceful and unnecessary, but people were really worried there would be additional cuts, and this one, the cut to community employment, was a huge one.
The removal of the lone parent and disability allowance would for me be devastating, because I'm on disability and I would have to given up the CE. But also it would have meant that a lot of my colleagues here, particularly the girls on the lone parents, I would have lost good friends also. But for them, it's given them great confidence, because a lot of them have young children and they couldn't give up the C's, their books or their other payments, and go back to doing nothing.
If they took my lone parents off me, I'd have to leave my CE course, because I wouldn't be able to live on my lone parents. I live on CE money without my lone parents, and if they took my lone parents on me, it would be detrimental.
I wouldn't have been able to survive, cope financially on one payment. I have bills and rent to pay, and it just wouldn't have been feasible.
The campaign committee decided to meet TDs from all political parties right across the country in order to explain the importance of community employment to them, to their families and to the wider community, and how these cuts would have a negative impact on them. As well as meeting over 40 TDs from all political parties, the campaign committee also made a presentation to the Joint Directors Committee on Social Protection and met directly with Minister Eamon O'Cuive with support of the other organisations.
The campaign against the cuts we organised in SIP2 in June. As a shop steward, myself and other shop stewards got together with the help of SIP2. We lobbied as many TDs in the Dublin area as we could, and thank you for the union for their support to help us to speak to these people on their level, and they couldn't sort of tell us to get out. So without the union we didn't have been able to do it.
People really rely on community employment schemes, and to be fair to Minister O'Cuive, I think he understands that there was a particular rural dimension to this. So he did reassure us when we went into the Joint Oireachtas Committee on the following Wednesday. They really welcomed that, and I suppose it was important from the campaign's point of view to get that down on the Dáil record. Now, to be fair, the Oireachtas Committee had already agreed a motion unanimously, which means that the government TDs had also agreed it, to ask the minister not to bring in this cut. But it was still very important for us, and that was certainly, from Open's perspective, one of the best visits and delegations we have been involved in going into an Oireachtas committee. And it was great because, as well as those of us who were telling the story of the campaign and what had happened, there were also people from SIP2 and community employment workers who had gone around to meet politicians. So it was really good to have everybody together.
I know other people on disability, and they would be in the same situation as me, and especially for lone parents as well. It gives them a chance to work, where if they worked they wouldn't be able to afford childcare, but this gives them a chance to work their 19.5 hours a week and still spend time with their kids.
The way means an awful lot to my family, because it means that, I can stay on CE, I can continue doing any coursework that I have to do. to get me further in my education, and plus the fact to get better skills when I do leave CE, that I have better qualifications behind me.
The success of the Our Right to Fight campaign would benefit people that if they wanted to get into the scheme, they'd have no fear of losing their allowances to get back into the scheme. They would keep their lone parents or their disability, and they would get into it, and it would benefit the community immensely if they could go into it. The benefits of being organised in SIP2 for this centre was amazing, because before that we didn't know what way we stood with the CE schemes and the Your Right to Fight campaign. We knew nothing about it, but with the help of the union we were very successful in it, and we hope to keep going with things like this with people in the areas.
Well, the INU was extremely delighted to see that in the end, in this budget, that there was no specific move made to reduce the social welfare entitlement for people who are participants on CE schemes. We feel that these schemes are extremely vital to helping people who are most distant from the labour market to maintain some formal level of training and participation in the labour market, and hopefully that brings them closer to achieving their goal of becoming full-time employed. So we're very, very delighted as an organisation to see that this campaign was effective.
I think in the current context, in the context of the recession, it would be very important to open that we continue to build alliances with the people we always have, like the INOU, like disability organisations, Inclusion Ireland, Mental Health Ireland, etc. But also that trade unions and community organisations would work together. And I think this campaign, I hope, will be a really good example and inspire people to do that, and for them to see the value of it and to understand what each organisation can bring to the table.
Due to the hard work and dedication of all the CE workers and activists involved, and with the support of the other organisations, the Your Right, Your Fight campaign proved to be a huge success, because the cuts to welfare entitlements for CE workers were not introduced in the December 2010 budget. On behalf of SIP2, we'd like to thank all the CE workers and activists involved on the campaign, and also the other organisations for their support.